who knows? Like anything could happen.
Yeah.
I thought about a few days ago I was going to go to Japan for a training camp for somebody else. Like to know that's sort of an opportunity as well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to plan my life because anything can happen.
Welcome everyone back to Fighters of Perth, the show where we aim to get to know our fighters here a little bit better, their story, their journey, and hopefully make a new friend along the way. My guest with me today, Bryony Soden, all right, current WBC Australian title for featherweight, I'm pretty sure. 21 fights, was recently fought on RWS and has also got bronze at the IFMA Games recently. So yeah, thanks for coming down. Thanks for making the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really like the production of this podcast and the way you portray people's characters. So it's good. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I try. So obviously I want to get everyone to know your background a little bit, how you got started in Muay Thai, how your journey, started from day one, how you found Muay Thai and how you started from there and actually decided to compete.
Yep. So I've always been passionate towards martial arts. I've done judo since I was 4 years old because my 3 older brothers did it. I did that from the age of 14, so I did it for about 10 years. And then with family life, I wasn't able to do it just because my parents broke up in life. And I always had like a hole for it. I always watched fighting and just looked at the women who did it and I wanted to do that. And then my brothers started doing Muay Thai. Begged and begged my dad to do it, but he wouldn't let me. It's too dangerous. So it was the end of high school. I was 17 years old. Still had that want to do it. I watched my brother fight, and he fought for a new gym. He'd recently moved gyms, I think within the past 6 months, and I just watched the character of himself change. I watched how he changed to like his eating habits. He ran more, and he was just a better person. So in that fight, he was just like a hero to me. He knocked out his opponent within, I think, 40 seconds left in the first round. And he had like a crowd of people cheering for him. And I was like, I want that. I want to be that. So at the time I was lifting weights at like a commercial gym. I wasn't fit. I had this thing in me and I still do now. Like I'm not living up to my athletic potential. So yeah, for that Monday I went and I drove my mum's car to training and did my first lesson. My coach said that I had potential from like my very first lesson and I just knew it straight away. Always wanted to fight from that very moment. Always wanted to, pursue what I'm doing now.
Yeah. And how old, because you said you drove a car, so how old? Because
17.
17, yeah.
23 now, so
yeah.
Just 5 years ago, 5 years and 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot like to accomplish in that amount of time.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, no, clearly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool thing to be obsessed about. Going back to your judo, though, like, did you ever compete with your judo?
Yeah. I competed at a national level. I pretty much won every single time.
Wow.
Is there
any footage of your judo competitions?
I've tried to find some, but it's mostly my brothers. They always got the spotlight. That's why, like, I have this thing in me that I want to do this for me kind of thing because I always was in their shadow. So, yeah, if that makes sense.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the judo questions. Did you get to black belt as well?
Nah, hated doing the gradings and stuff like that, so I always stayed as a green belt. It's just one of those things that I wanted to be better, but I just couldn't because of the lack of resources that I had.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, I've started getting a lot more respect for judo in the recent years. Like this, it can be very brutal. Very brutal. But that's pretty cool that you got that foundation. Yeah,
it has helped. Yeah. Like I picked up Muay Thai like that easy. And just my discipline, my ability to focus and train like an athlete because of that upbringing that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you got like that grappling background that, also with the Muay Thai. And I think a lot of people don't know that. So that's actually cool,
Watch out when I transition one day.
Yeah.
It'll be sick.
Yeah. Did you have any struggles in the beginning when you learned to clinch to like not put your hip in front of them trying to go for like those judo tosses?
Yeah. I pretty much for the past 4 years have struggled to take away to like leave judo in the past. It's only like within the past 6 months that I've really actually understood clinching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been hard, yeah.
And that's just because you're so hardwired.
Yeah, subconsciously. You just I feel like in judo you use more of your strength. And then with Muay Thai it's not about that. It's about more technique and timing and stuff like that.
Right. See, I
Yeah.
thought it was meant to be all about like leverage and stuff.
Yeah. Nah.
Nah?
Well, I was like a little kid bashing
True.
people. I just used my pure strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. You said you saw some of the females doing Muay Thai. Do you remember who it was that initially like inspired you?
My first female fighter that I watched was Victoria Sullivan versus Bryony.
Wow, okay. So like actually a local, it's like not
yeah.
some super international, it's like a local.
Like
yeah.
I would watch it at my brother's fights when he was at a different gym. I remember Beck Rooney's like green shorts because my coach used to train Beck Rooney, and that was the time when he was training her. Always remember Vic Sullivan. Everyone knows her. Well, it's Vic Callahan now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wow. So it just feels, I don't know, I felt like you've been in the game a little bit longer, but that's so yeah,
I'm
wow.
a baby.
And you're
Yeah.
like, and you've already done so much. That's
Yeah.
so cool. When you first started out, did you find like there was a lack of female competition at your weights, like or anything like that, or did you? Was it pretty easy straight away? Because I know sometimes it can be difficult, like you end up having to fight the same people, or
Yeah. I guess I've never really looked at it as an issue or complained about anything. I'll fight anyone. I have rematched people. I did run out of opponents. I did go up in weight. Especially coming back from COVID, most of the girls got fat or pregnant and were retired. So, yeah, I have made specific changes in my career because of the lack of opponents and took in opportunities to get more fights. But it is what it is. Don't complain. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of those specific changes?
Doing IFMAs.
Okay.
Padded fights. I feel like some people are like, why is she doing that? It's all experience. Moving up from, I was fighting at 53, now I fight at 57.
So you don't have to worry about the weight cut.
Flying myself to Queensland to do nationals, like for my second fight. Taking myself to Thailand to get a fight. Just taking responsibility of my circumstances and not being a victim. I feel like too many people complain about lack of opponents when you can literally put yourself in a different environment and get opportunities.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you're so proactive about it as well.
Yeah.
So bit of a busy year. You spoke about Thailand, you spoke about your IFMA. I think you started off the year with your fight against, is it Judy? I can't say it, Judy Humber?
Judy Humber, yeah.
And then got the win there. Then the IFMA games after, IFMA World Championships after that. And then you went from there to Thailand recently for an RWS, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like really cool. And you got the win there.
Yeah.
And then now you've got another IFMA thing coming ahead.
Yeah.
What is the difference between what you did in May, I think it was May, something like IFMA, the IFMA World Games, and then the combat one that they've got coming
So
out?
the IFMA World Championships happen every year.
Okay.
And that's just Muay Thai. That's Muay Thai over 10 days. There's more people in your division. You could have as many who register. So it could be up to from 8 to 12, 14 people in your category. And you pretty much, if you lose your fight, you're knocked out of the competition. And you fight every 1 to 2 days. Sometimes you fight back to back, which is kind of hard. Versus the World Combat Games. Happens every 4 years. Muay Thai, I think this is the third time Muay Thai has been in it. There's over 16 different combat sports over the spread of 6 days. 2,500 athletes, how many countries, but it's big, it's huge. I feel like that is the next step towards the Olympics. And in terms of the Muay Thai that's in the World Combat Games, you only have 4 people selected in the entire world in each category. So that you're literally fighting the best.
And you're one of the 4?
Yes.
Congratulations.
I know, it's wicked. And it's, even if you lose, you still get to fight again. So the winner you actually have to fight for the bronze medal. You're not just like, you've lost. So there's 2 bronze medalists.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 4th have to fight for that 3rd place, which I think is good. So I've guaranteed 2 fights going over there, which is, easy to plan in terms of making weight and recovery and stuff like that. I just couldn't turn the opportunity down when I got a phone call to do it. So
they contacted you. You didn't have to register for it.
So usually if you win gold at the IFMA World Championships, you qualify for it. Or there's certain tournaments you have to participate in. But because I'm from Australia, I don't compete in the European games and stuff like that to earn up the points to get into it. So I got a phone call. instead.
It's pretty cool. So this is almost a little bit more prestigious than the World Championships, would you
The
say?
IFMA World Championships, it happens
Yeah.
every 4 years. It's I want to build my resume because I know the Olympics will be added for Muay Thai 2028 or 2032. So doing this style is what's going to be there. So I want to be the person that's picked for 57 kilograms Australia when that time comes.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. You'll
Yeah.
definitely get there.
Yeah.
So, how would you describe to someone the main differences in how you need to prepare for a tournament style competition versus just a traditional Muay Thai fight?
Yeah.
And is there anything in the most recent one that you did that you learned from that you want to apply to your next training camp?
Yeah. So the difference for me training for, let's say, a 5-rounder Muay Thai fight, it's professional. It's more slower. You pick your shots. You're fighting over those 5 rounds, so you're telling more of a story. So you're showing where you're more dominant. You're picking apart someone's weakness over those rounds. You're showing that you're the higher caliber fighter. You're better at Muay Thai versus the tournament style. It's much faster pace. You don't actually have to be a good Muay Thai fighter to win it.
Okay, can you explain that a little bit more? Because I don't.
Yeah.
How does that work?
You can be a good kickboxer. The most best Muay Thai fighter won't win. It's more high like fast pace, more volume, more point, more like it's just go the whole time, non-stop. And it's over freeze as well. Yeah. So
3 3 is 1 minute break.
It's like less damage.
Yeah.
I'm a fighter who likes to fight strong, and I like to impose damage. I like to hurt people. Doing IFMA completely out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But that's why I like it. It's something that I'm not like confident in. So it's a challenge to me. So that's why I like doing them.
Yeah.
And the mental aspect as well. So I did IFMA World Championships last year as well. And then this year. So this will be my 3rd time doing the tournament style. I'm going against people who only have access to these.
Yeah.
So countries like Russia, they don't have what we have where I can fight for a professional title over 5 rounds. They literally get their career out of doing these tournaments. So they're so good at that fast pace. They
train
come
for
out
it, everything,
with
yeah.
spinning kicks, spinning elbows and do crazy stuff that I'm like, woo, what is this? So like to swim in their waters is fun for me, as well as I forgot where I was going with this.
Main differences,
it's like their pinnacle.
yeah.
It's their pinnacle.
Yeah.
Versus this is just something that I want to do for myself as a fighter because I love fighting.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and it's an experience as well. Like you're making weight every second day. It's so mentally draining. When I was having my first and second fight at the last IFMAs, I versed 2 southpaws, and when you fight a southpaw, you just right kick all day, no matter what. My shins were black, my ankles were black going into the second fight, but I still had to bite down on my mouth guard and keep kicking.
Yeah.
Most of my fights, because I'm very technical as well, in like professional fighting, I never get damaged. I never face an injury. I never get cut. I never get bruised because I'm smart. So I never have to face adversity much. So this is another opportunity for me to face adversity in terms of fighting back-to-back with injuries.
Yeah.
And I like building that mental toughness. That's why I fight. It's the reason I do it. So that's another hurdle that you have to face when you do the tournament styles.
Yeah.
That when you have to fight once in one night, that's a privilege. You don't have to fight again hurt. Yeah.
Does it make you appreciate almost the one fight a night? Does that almost seem a bit easy?
It makes it so easy. Like the weight cut, you got a whole week to do the weight cut. You get 24 hours to put all your weight back on. Like I feel like when I fight professional now, like when I fought in RWS, I was like, this is a piece of cake. Like, it definitely does. It toughens you up.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then in the actual preparation in the fight camp, would you just do more shorter, faster rounds in your preparation? Or is there anything else you would do?
On pads, it's work rate like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for it because I feel like preparing for IFMAs has made me overall as a fighter be more like on my toes, be able to string my combinations together, bring out my boxing a lot more. And it's also made me just like not hold back like you just have to go. You just have to believe in yourself. Like you can't give the other person a chance. It's pretty much like you have to overwhelm them kind of thing. So training like that is good. It kind of, my sparring partners and clinch partners and stuff like that get overwhelmed when I'm in prep for like a tournament style because they're so not used to me being
volume,
like that.
yeah.
Because I usually pick my shots or like I'll work one spot, I'll work the body or I'll work the leg. But tournament style, it's like I've got to go. So the rounds are much more faster and exhausting and the conditioning's much more different as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find you don't get hurt as much with all that padding, or does it not make much of a difference?
It doesn't make much difference. And like you low key put the padding on very loosely, so like your shins start to expose and you start to expose your elbows.
A little bit cheeky.
Yeah, I've seen people get hospitalised at these IFMA events. It's dangerous. Like you're fighting the elite just because you're in pads. It is, it's just as dangerous, I reckon.
Yeah. And do you start like sparring with pads on like as you're leading up just to kind of get used to it?
Yeah, literally today I got my little headgear on. I hate it because I can't slip as much as I usually do. Elbow pads as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine there might have been a bit of an adjustment there because like you said, like when I've seen you fight, very single power shots, which I love, which is so powerful, to then make that adjustment to that kind of tournament style where, like you said, it's fast paced.
Yeah.
Do they care much about power, or is it just how many shots you land? Is it just...
It's a mix of both of them.
Okay.
But like most of the time, the person with more work rate is going to end up winning. Yeah. Just because it's the sheer volume of everything.
Yeah. So it's almost worth more just getting good at just like those little light pepper shots.
It's like kickboxing.
Yeah.
And I do want to go down the K1 route one day. So like doing this has helped my confidence in going, if that opportunity comes, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it only K1 you want to go down? Do you want to go down anything else, like any other styles?
I want to do K1, 100%. Even after Muay Thai, I would do like MMA or boxing, whatever happens. Okay. I'm just taking literally life like a fight camp at a time.
Yeah. Nothing too far ahead.
Yeah. But always open, always learning from every sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about fight camps, obviously you did train in Thailand recently.
Yeah.
And again, congratulations on your RWS win.
Yeah.
Actually, quickly, can you just explain the difference to people? What's the difference between RWS and their regular shows? Do you know?
Yeah. Well, like RWS on the Saturday versus like throughout the week?
Yeah.
Yeah, so throughout the week they do knockout, which is like it's still free rounders. It's more for the foreigners, and they do have like private events as well that do 5 rounds. But the RWS is more like what they want to do is they want to bring sort of entertaining Muay Thai, but at the same time educate people on what real Muay Thai is.
Okay.
So they take there's a strong emphasis on like the cultural aspect and making sure you do your waikuru and show respect. Even though there is like a knockout bonus and stuff like that, they still are trying to keep that like Muay Thai that some other shows in Thailand don't have. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, they're just trying to make it more of a global sport. That's why it's called World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. And you trained at FA Group.
Yeah.
Obviously that was probably a pretty cool experience. I want to, after my question, I want you to unpack your whole Thailand experience, the whole thing. But also I want to know about, why you chose FA Group and just, your whole experience.
So I was sitting in a parking lot in IGA and it was just after I saw my oral tooth surgeon and found out I don't need surgery. Because I thought I was going to have to take the rest of the year off to get my surgery done on my jaw, and he was like, it's no point, because I told him my career and what goals and aspirations I have. Like, if you get hit, it's all going to, it's going to be a waste of money. So I was sitting in the car park, and at this point, I had a huge, massive opportunity lined up for October for my professional career, and I had all this time, about 4 months of no fights, and just like in a limbo. And in the back of my mind, I lost my last fight at the IFMA World Championships because of clinching. I'm very confident boxing. I'm very confident kicking. But when it comes to clinching, I just didn't have for example, with boxing, I understand footwork. I understand angles and timing and feints. And kicking, I understand feints and where to move, how to set shots up. But with clinching, I just didn't understand the language.
Okay.
I couldn't teach it as well. And I always had this thing in the back of my mind about clinching. And
FA Group's quite known for their clinching.
Yeah, FA Group's known for clinching. And I had this money saved up, and I was like, I just finished off a burger date with someone who was about to go to Thailand for 2 months, and I was like, I'm going to do what he's doing. I'm going to go. And then I looked at flights. They were pretty cheap. Messaged my coach. I'm going to go to Thailand for a month. And he's like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, whatever.
He's like the best. He's so chill with whatever I do, so supportive. And then, I booked it. I was a legit FA group straight away. Messaged a few girls. They said that they're very welcoming there. They'll treat you well. And you will get better at the clinch. And that's all I wanted. Like, I didn't care about anything else as long as that's going to improve. 2 weeks later, I flew to Thailand. First time traveling solo. And I'm like a very anxious, I can't fend for myself person. And for me to go do that was a big thing. Yeah. Even though I've traveled before, I haven't gone by myself. So when I did that, booked a little hostel to stay at 10 minutes from the gym. I literally just trained every single day there. My whole focus was training. I didn't post on social media, and I usually post nonstop. Eat, sleep, repeat. The first day there was a morning. I went on the morning run. I was quite shocked because I thought it would be a longer run or harder, but it was quite easy. And then I did my first pads, and literally after 15 seconds on pads, they're like, "Oh, you fight?" I was like, "Yeah."
They realized, "Oh, this person's good."
Okay, we get you a fight. I'm like, okay. They were saying Fairtex or Super Champ. I was like, cool, I'll fight on there. I was super heavy getting there to Thailand because I was like, I don't really care about fighting as long as I get better at clinching. Fighting's not my goal here.
So you weren't really your intention wasn't to go there and fight. No. It was just to train.
It was to train. And then so I feel like in Australia, in the back of my mind, because I'm from a small gym, most of my training partners have had 1 or 2 fights. I had 21. I have even saying that I have this sort of intensity and drive for this sport that I haven't met besides in Max McVicker, and that's the only other person that has this drive for this sport. So it's kind of draining sometimes when you don't have that energy. So I thought training in Thailand I would meet more people like that. Yeah. But I was soon to find out that it's rare. It's very rare, and they noticed that. They noticed my athleticism, sorted out how strong I was, how I learnt so quickly. I'm a visual learner, and I just need to be shown something once, and I'll pick it up straight away. So the Thais, that works perfect. Language barrier and all, they just need to show me, and I get it straight away. So they were on to me non-stop. I was followed around by at least one of them, which is good for them to do that, for someone who's just arrived at their gym, to get that much attention. Because I put it out there. I held myself to a certain caliber, so they held me there. I got, treated very well in that sense. I think it was 4 days in, they told me RWS, and they told me at 56 kilos, I was like, okay. Yeah. So I hit up a meal prep company. I'm a nutritionist myself, so I planned my weight cut. Which was actually the easiest weight cut because you're training twice a day, so you're just burning the calories crazy, and you sweat so easy over there. Do you mind
if I quickly ask? So you're a nutritionist. Yeah. Why did you end up still getting help from another nutritionist?
I didn't.
Oh, sorry, I must have misunderstood what you said. I thought you said you got a nutrition. Oh, okay, my bad, I misheard you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so in camp, when I was training, my favorite moments were when I got to interact with Yotin, who's one of their most active fighters. He's the current Rajadam World Series champion at 57, which is my weight, but he's a beast. Yeah. He threw me on the ground 50 times on my second day there. It was good because I got to train with someone who is actually passionate about the sport. It's very rare to see someone who's still actively fighting, who's still the best, who still wants to hold pads, who still wants to push others. He is very passionate, and I feel like he's got a huge future, whatever he chooses after fighting. So to learn from him changed my aspect about clinching. He just explained things so perfectly. He actually reminded me of Max McVicker, which is my coach's son. He taught the same way, and I was able to pick things up quite quickly. And now I understand clinching. Like
Yeah.
I understand it so well, and I actually have a passion for it now.
Yeah.
Before I didn't have a passion for it.
Yeah.
One of my clinching partners said the other day, it's not only am I strong at clinching now, but I have like applied strength.
Yeah, you actually have the
So
technique.
it's actually
and skills.
working now, which is cool and exciting because I get to keep hopefully one day I actually clinch in my fights because I never end up needing to.
Like even your fight in Thailand, you finished it with hands, right? It was like a bit of a punching.
I never need to.
Yeah.
So I'm smart. Like I'll do what's working. Why do something else? Most of the time I find something that works and I'll just keep doing it. And most of the times it tends to either be the timing of my kicks or my setting up my hands. That get me the W.
At least in your mind, the back, you've got that. Like if it does, at least it's not something that you feel like, oh, I'm lacking in this area. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like when the opportunity presents itself, it will be the time that I get to demonstrate it because the fact that I'm ranked number 3 in the world and all I've done so far is punch and kick is quite dangerous.
True.
I think that's, cool.
Yeah.
I still haven't had a chance to show myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Everything you can do.
Yeah. But overall, Thailand for me, I thought it was going to be way harder, but it was very like you train as hard as you want. The environment at FA Group was similar to what I have at home, very small gym, very family environment, and I thrive in that. I thrive in that one-on-one interaction. So, yeah, I had a ball. Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
Mad FOMO now.
Yeah. Do you plan on doing another trip soon?
Where life throws me. So I'll fight in end of October. So then got November, December. I might have to chill because I've had 7 fights in 9 months. Hopefully I'm planning to fight on Muay Thai Grand Prix in February next year. But who knows? Like anything could happen.
Yeah.
I thought about a few days ago I was going to go to Japan because for a training camp for somebody else. Like to know that sort of an opportunity as well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to plan my life because anything can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were talking about, again, the clinching, how you struggled with it.
Yeah.
What's something, I know it's hard because so much of it's visual, right, like you were saying, but is there anything that you can try to explain for someone who might be in a similar boat that you were, that struggles with clinching, or maybe if conceptually, what's something that you learned that you can pass on to them?
So the most important thing that I learned is using your shoulders.
Okay,
I never understood, before Thailand, this was me. All right, grab top lock, I'm strong, got that, and just knee and twist.
Pull,
That's all
knee,
I knew.
yeah.
Grab top lock, knee and twist. Now I understand, your clinching it's an exchange and you're constantly trying to find that top lock and you're constantly trying to control the biceps, control the arms, and then they might be in the dominant position, and then it's about exchanging and just keep showing that you're in control of I don't know, what's an MMA word, sequence or whatever. That just made me cringe. But I understand that now and I know what that looks like and I know what it feels like. When I was clinching with the Thais in Thailand, I was just like, one, they are not Max, because I used to train with Max for the first 4 years and he used to bash me, so I'm not scared of anyone because of him. So they can't hurt me, so I just did anything. I just learnt. I just absorbed. I had no ego and I just pretended to know what I was doing, and I've found out I actually am quite good. If I didn't have this story holding me back, I just did it. Yeah. And I showed up to the standard that I now have when I've come home, and everyone thinks I'm a monster now.
Yeah. Especially with if you say using your shoulders, I'm sure you got pretty strong shoulders. Yeah. So do you find that helps as well?
You literally I was clinching with Yelte, who's one of the foreigners that's been training there for years. He fought in Perth when I won my national title straight after me, and he absolutely picked apart Jason Tran, who's one of Perth's good strong boxing, strong hands. And Yelte used his IQ very, very well, and he did a video after his fight on One Championship where he stopped a guy because of the clinch, saying that going to FA Group changed his clinch. He understood it because he was good at everything else. He's the reason that I went to that gym, and then I clinched with him, and he's the one that taught me about the shoulders. I couldn't grab onto his neck. He looked like a shark because his shoulders were up so high, and he just kept moving them, and I just couldn't grab on. And he was so relaxed while doing it. Credit to him for teaching me that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's cool that you have that, so like those people that you can learn from, and that kind of, I don't want to say circle, but like just those training partners that you can learn so much of. Because when you're always the best, it's kind of hard to keep growing.
Yeah.
So you got people that are better at you at certain things, and you just level up.
I listened to a podcast. It was Lee Harrison and Richard from Bad Company was talking about how every year for at least once a month he'd go to Thailand and just go there to learn and pick new things up, bring them home, see if they work. But yeah, continually adding to that skill set. I've come home and I'm teaching all the kids and ladies, and I'm teaching my own coach everything that I've learned. It's only making everything better.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely going to make it a yearly thing to go over there and learn, pick new things up.
Yeah. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sure the guys at your gym will appreciate that.
It's literally an investment. Like,
Yeah.
it's blown my mind how grateful I am for being in the car parking lot and booking that ticket. Yeah.
You said like this was the first time you'd done like a solo trip, right?
Yeah.
What kind of preparations did you take, I guess, in order to do it safely, right?
Yeah.
To do everything, like, did you make any preparations to do such a thing? And any advice for anyone else that's thinking about the same?
I just booked my flight, booked my hostel, figured out how to catch the train to where I was staying, which is quite cheap. It's literally like $2 from the airport for like an hour's travel. I brang heaps of Nutri-Grain.
Okay.
Pre-training food, you need it.
Yeah.
Cereal over there is expensive. It's not as good either. Definitely bring your own food and supplements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In terms of training load, do like run before you go to Thailand.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to run. I don't like running. I don't usually run for my fight preps. I do like other like conditioning.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to. That's like a non-negotiable if you want to fight. Definitely arrive fit. I think that's why I was able to, I think the Thais were waiting for me to drop dead, but I didn't.
Yeah.
That's why I was so fit. And then other than that, if you get, I think my 17-year-old assistant trainer said this to me, my coach's daughter, if you get lost, you just find your way because it's not like you got anywhere to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll be right. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's advice to my past self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man. I want to ask, if time permits. All right. Just briefly, take us through why you because I know there's a traditional way of Muay Thai training, right? Like run, lots of road work.
Yeah.
Why have you decided in your usual way of training to not run as much?
At home?
Yeah, at home, the way you
Yeah.
train. Help educate us on that.
I'm a professional athlete. I train twice a day. My job all year round is to stay conditioned. It's my coach's job to get me fight fit. So most people, I feel like they rely on their coach in fight camp to get them to that conditioned state. But I'm literally conditioned all year round because of what I do. So, for example, I fought a week and a half ago, but right now I'm still doing 50% of my normal volume of my conditioning that I do. And that might be on the bike or it might be on the rower or sprints on track, not like long monotonous runs. Right. Specific sessions, like some sessions I'll do short sprints, intervals, or like threshold running. And it's purely because there's different systems that you tap into when you fight.
Exactly. Yeah.
And running like an hour a day at like a monotonous pace with no intention is not going to make me a better fighter. I believe in I want to be the best athlete as I can. And I've seen it in my own physical shape, like doing things, taking things from other sports and applying it to my training has paid a huge impact on when I'm in the ring. I'm so explosive, and it's not because I run slow every single day. I'm conditioned because I'm consistent, and I choose to train the way I do because it brings out the best in me. And I like it. I like doing my bike sprints. I like doing pyramid runs. This is what allows me to stay motivated 365 days of the year. It also allows me to taper and to deload and to like show up consistently. I think that people try and always think about the fight and that lead up. But the most important thing that you do is what you're doing all year round. You know, it's slow, it's steady. And yeah, just running with no intention just doesn't serve a purpose in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with everything you're saying there. And like you said, like that threshold training.
Yeah.
I think these things we can be doing that is more going to give you more of a benefit for the fight. Like you said, the energy
and longevity
systems.
in the sport. Longevity, like if I trained like I did in Thailand for a year, that's like 5 years here. Like my body won't be able to take it. I want to be in the sport for a long time. I've got goals, so I'm going to be as smart as I possibly can. It's not like I'm trying to do the least for my maximum bark. I'm training to what my body needs at a certain point in time, and I'm putting my ego away, kind of thing. Like I'm one of those people. Like my first 9 fights, I trained 100%, 100 like every time, all the time. I burnt myself out. I burnt myself to the ground. So I learned it the hard way. Like my coach tells me when I've done too much and to go home, kind of thing. Like training hard is easy. Training smart is hard, and you should be training smart.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not completely changing gears. You I think in a recent video, you're talking about something that you'd learned in Thailand, or I guess came to the revelation that you said you're kind of like the center of your own success.
Yeah.
And you talked about, can you unpack that a little bit for us?
Yeah. So coming from a small gym again, like I've always fought people I fought Riddler's gym like 6 times in my career. And I'd always think they think they're better than me because they have better sparring partners. They've got the world-class training like coach who's made multiple world champions. My coach has only made 1 world champion. That's Max, his son. And I don't have the best training partners. So I've always had in my mind when I train, like I'm the person that is bringing this intensity to improve and get better. And I can just see it. Like everyone around me, like if I hold myself to that level, everyone backs me, and it becomes a thing. It's in my control, kind of thing. I don't know. You just have to. It's just something that I've developed over the time, and like I do this. I have a Muay Thai journal where I write down everything that I'm learning and what I'm improving at and what I do well, to constantly keep myself accountable. I always talk with my trainers and communicate with them where my mindset is, what I want to improve. I don't know, I feel like I tap into so many resources that I feel like normal people just would take advantage of because of my lack of resources, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So making things work in your favour, regardless of what you have, kind of thing. I don't know, it's just, yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. Lastly, like now this is completely left field, but what do you think is the meaning of life, or do you think life has meaning? And if so, yeah, what is it?
I think we all know deep down, and I think a lot of people distract themselves from witnessing it, and we do it every day. We all have our own little voice that knows that answer.
Really? What do you think that answer is?
It's you have this, everyone has like that potential.
Okay.
And I feel like if anyone doesn't live up to it, then that's where all the bad stuff comes. That's where all the guilt and shame comes. But if you continually push yourself to expand that potential and tap into it, then you're doing what you're meant here for.
Right. So you seem like we all know there's something that we can be.
Yeah.
And what we need to do to be that, but that's kind of where the challenge is. But and they said that's also when we don't live up to that. It's when we kind of, guess, fall away a bit.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? I don't want to misunderstand.
I feel like society is designed so you don't find that, or you don't see that. Like you distract yourself from that. But there's so much that humans are capable of that some of us figure it out and just dive right into it and just don't look back, and some people just never ever even get a glimpse at it. Yeah. Kind of thing. It's just living up to your potential.
Yeah. In short, living up to your potential.
Yeah.
And would you say you kind of, I guess anyone would look at what you're doing is like, you're living it, right? You're doing that.
I mean, when you're someone determined like me, and anything I do, I'm successful, and it's very hard to accept that this is what I've got to do in this moment in time. Like, there's so many things that I want to do, but I have to pick that one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
almost like we're constantly presented with these two options of like the easy way versus the hard way. And we know the easy way will kind of give us that instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's like the now, but then the hard decision is always better for us in the long term.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's more fulfilling. Like, I admire my coach. He works full time and trains us till 9 o'clock at night every single night, and he just does it for the love. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind what he does, and he does it. There's not a single day he's less passionate about it. He's an example of still following that while having to lead a normal life as well. Yeah.
It's cool to have those people in your life that you can look up to and learn from.
Yeah.
Bryony, I want to say thank you so much for coming down. It's been absolutely awesome. Man, I really hope I can have you again on the future.
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
Woo.